Hey there, LinkedIn, and I think Facebook. I'm not sure. But I'm going live, just trying something new. And I want to do a pre show to this equity and government contracting audio, um LinkedIn audio that I do every week, Wednesday, 7 to 8:30. A lot of people don't know that LinkedIn even had an audio feature. It was in beta testing for quite some time, but I believe about 45 days ago, it is now available to any and everyone. So, equity in government contracting, really is about President Biden's. I'm just going to kind of go over some notes here. President Biden's Executive Order 13985. Um, that's what it's all about. It was a historic executive order because never in the history of the United States, at least not since the a lot of the small business regulations and laws were enacted, has there been a wide sweeping focus on increasing opportunities for small businesses, and specifically in this case, underserved um, communities of vendors. And so the executive order, as I said, Executive Order 13985, which you can find uh, um, on the website or on the internet, whitehouse.gov/equity, will give you visibility of all of the plans of the various federal agencies, and I believe there's over 90 um, uh, plans that each of the federal agencies have created, and it's really about what are they planning to do to bring into action Executive 13985. It's been a long day. Uh, I had the opportunity earlier today to be interviewed by USA Today about the Women Veteran Owned Small Business Initiative at the Department of Veteran Affairs. So was just excited to do that, but also it been just a long day, but it was very exciting. So what I really want to do in this pre-live, because we're going to start in 5 minutes with the LinkedIn audio version, where you can raise your hand, come to the stage, and ask questions. If you miss us here, I hope you will go there. You can go into LinkedIn and click on events under my profile, or it may just even come up that I'm live on audio. But the equity in government contracting is a community discussion. It's not sanctioned by any federal government entity. All views and opinions are those of the speakers and not of the Department of Veteran Affairs where I work, nor any other uh, federal agency. Um, I'm using this opportunity as a LinkedIn top voice in the military veteran community and, in the small business community to enable veterans and members of underserved communities and those looking to engage with them the opportunity to use what I call the C4 method, and that is uh, connect, celebrate, collaborate, and coach. And all of that's happening live on the LinkedIn audio feature that starts in about 3 minutes. We're here every Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join in. What I love about the audio feature, of course, that was started by uh, Clubhouse. If you don't know, I was over there for more than a year and really enjoyed that opportunity to directly engage with women veteran entrepreneurs. But when LinkedIn started their feature, or their audio feature, I thought, hey, this is an opportunity to widen the net and to allow women veterans, and I always say a few good men, and others in the underserved communities, that's minority, women, veteran, disability, those disabled, and LGBTQ, to join this conversation. Um, if you decide to join us on the LinkedIn audio side, please update your app, because LinkedIn may not know that your last version of LinkedIn, the LinkedIn app, may not know that there's an audio feature. So let me, and if there's some folks that you think should be part of this conversation, please include them. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Michelle Gardner-Ince, a U.S. Air Force veteran. I've never been without an ID card. At my first breath, I was a military brat of a Army Corps of Engineer officer, one of the first blacks, and so my mother was Military Wife of the Year. So you can see, service runs through and through in my blood, and all of my adult life after joining the Air Force has been serving military members and their families in the form of improving their quality of life. And that's everything from department stores to restaurants, hotels, gyms, golf courses, marinas, horse stables, from A to Z, and I absolutely had a great time. And so I've been an entrepreneur most of my adult life, and I say that because what a lot of people don't know, or you may know, is that all of those things that the military provides through APHIS and through other morale and welfare entities make a profit, and that profit then is returned in the back in the form of new services, new facilities for military members and their families. And so with that, I'm going to tell you, please join us on LinkedIn audio. I'm going to see if I can do both at the same time. But if I don't, please know that I'll be back, and we're going to try this again. One of the things I believe is starting ugly and getting prettier. So if you'll just wait 1 minute, let me see about signing in over there on LinkedIn audio. Let's see. Join. So when you come in, when the app comes up, what it does is it asks you if you want to join, and I'm going live now, and so we're going to see how this works. I'm going to be talking to you, but I'll also be looking down on the screen. Good evening, everyone on LinkedIn audio. So glad that you could join us. E.G., Roberta, Eric, Kylie, thank you. Pari, Corliss, such a delight for you to join us. Welcome to Equity in Government Contracting. I was just testing out going LinkedIn Live at the same time as LinkedIn Audio. So some of you may see me twice. I don't know how that's working, but somebody told me it could be done. I'm probably doing it the hard way, but I've got LinkedIn Live on my on my iPad, and I've got LinkedIn Audio on my phone. So if I'm looking down and up, for those of you who are watching on LinkedIn Live, please forgive me. We have a great opportunity. We had a great time last week, and I said, we're going to do this again. Hey, Pastor Jeff, I know I got some IOUs, but please forgive me. Pastor Jeff, I want to shout out a few people in the audience. Pastor Jeff Moffitt is one of my Breakfast with Champions brothers. Breakfast with Champions is the largest clubhouse in the morning. They were I would call it the creators, the innovators that started this audio feature. And he and I are on there every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it is a tremendous platform. I've learned so much, grown so much. There are movers and shakers, people who are doing things. It just causes you to, it's like a master class every morning. So if you're not a member of Clubhouse or you're on Clubhouse, please join Breakfast with Champions. I want to welcome back Roberta. Come on to the stage if you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, that's okay. Roberta Moore, who's at the top of my screen. Roberta is the one of the first Vet Biz ladies that was part of my program. And I have not seen her for a couple of weeks, and it's such a delight to have her. I'm going to ask EG, I know you're new to this platform and you might want to listen in, but if you want to listen in, if you want to come to the stage, please feel free to raise your hand. Now, that's one of the benefits that you may like about being on the LinkedIn audio is that you may not be able to see me, but you can hear me and you can better engage. Whereas on LinkedIn Live, I'm only communicating via chat when I get a chance. And so let me explain to you, for those of you, if you will put up your hand, there's 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen. There's a paper airplane that says invite. There's a smiley face in the middle that says react. And there is a microphone that says mute or unmute. Please know that if you come to the stage, you must press the mute or unmute button at the bottom. For the react button, I want to ask everyone to push the react button and tell me, give me a thumbs up if you are, this is your first time being on LinkedIn audio. Okay, we've got a couple of people. Oh, we got a good bit. So I'm going to give you just a few administrative remarks. And those of you who are live, please bear with us. Or if you've never been on LinkedIn audio, this might be a feature, or you might want to understand more about the features. I want to thank Tanisha, who's a regular on LinkedIn audio, says she's catching it live tonight, and I want to thank her for that. And so at the bottom of your screen is the paper airplane. If you would like to invite others to be part of this conversation, please push that invite button and then just type their name in and invite them to come in, because we've been having some dynamic sessions. Then the smiley face in the middle allows you to say thumbs up. Yes, I like that. I'm dying laughing. That's funny. I'm clapping you up, or I love it. So, when people are on stage, we really enjoy getting feedback from the audience, like anybody does. And then the last one is mute. There is on the left side of your screen, there'll be a raise your hand or I would like to speak button. Please do that. But I'm going to lay out a few ground rules before we get started. I did a little bit of that on the pre-show. So what I did this evening, I was trying it out, is I started on LinkedIn Live about 6:45, 6:50, kind of went through some of the foundation for those of us who may be new to the government and equity and government contracting conversation. So with that, let me just talk to you and tell you that this equity and government contracting conversation all started in January of 2021, when President Biden, on his first day in office, signed an executive order, an historic executive order, 13985, which is about advancing equity and support of underserved communities through the federal government. And it's historic because never in history since small business regulation has there been an effort to really focus and ask the government, federal government as a whole, to increase the vendor base. So that means while the federal government has been increasing their dollars to small businesses, guess what? They have not spread those dollars to additional vendors. So they're spending more money with less vendors. And so what this effort is trying to do is to increase the number of vendors, let them know that doing business with the government is a great thing. And oh, by the way, it is. Let me tell you something. the federal government, the US federal government, is the largest buyer of goods and services in the world. In the world. So even if you get a slither of those trillions of dollars, guess what? That's a great deal. And we want more businesses that are underserved. That underserved community includes minority, women, veterans, LGBTQ, and the disabled business community to come to the federal government and do more business. After that order was signed in 2021, January of 2021, later in 2021, he said, I'm not just doing an executive order, but he charged every federal agency to come up with an equity action plan. What actions are you going to take to remove the barriers, the burdens, and the biases that may possibly be in the way of small and underserved communities of vendors to enter into government contracting? That plan, those plans, and you can find those on whitehouse.gov/equity, laid out more than 300 strategies and commitments to remove and address systemic barriers in the nation's policies that oftentimes, stand in the way of these companies getting opportunities with the government. When you look at the executive order, look at sections 5 and 7, which is really what this whole forum, this communication, this community is about, is removing barriers for underserved communities so that they can take advantage of procurement and contracting opportunities. And it's saying, are there policies, regulations that may be necessary to advance equity in the agency's actions and programs? And so, within 1 year, I think it's coming up at the end of this fiscal year, they're asking all of the federal agencies to report on their status of where they are with these plans. So now that I've laid that out, what we've been doing the last 5 months or so, because I started as a beta tester, is we have been basically listening to the conversations of the small business community. We've been getting answers and responses and just talking about what can we as a community do. We've had people from from the federal government, former executives in acquisition, as well as small business owners who are successful to come up and talk to us and just have a dialogue. So last week we did, Ask Me Anything. So I want to lay out the groundwork. If you come, ground rules, if you come to the stage, please, one, state your name. Don't push your face. In other words, when you come to the stage, there's going to be a microphone next to your name. That's not the button that unmutes you. The button that unmutes you is the button at the bottom of the screen. Second of all, it is imperative, very important that one, if you have not connected with the people in this room, above you, below you, beside you, this is an opportunity to connect with them, to say, hey, I met you in GI's room, in the equity, in government contracting room, and to then, there may be something about their profile, there may be an opportunity to collaborate or connect on whatever basis. But like people come in this room, and there's been a lot of great things that have happened as a result of people being in this room and being connected. So with that, come to the stage, say your name, where you're from, what your business is. And if you're not in business, you're seeking to get into business, you're thinking about transitioning to business, that's fine. Just say that, ask your question, and then make a, or make a statement. So with that, if you would like to come to the stage, please feel free to do that. I want to thank Pastor Jeff. Said you're supporting on both platforms, LinkedIn Live and on uh, um, LinkedIn audio, and I really appreciate that. So invite some others to come in and join the conversation. And even if there are people that you don't know but you think might would add to the conversation, please feel free. And while we're doing that, I want to welcome back my friend, my sister, Roberta Moore. I love you. I appreciate your support. When I was on LinkedIn not LinkedIn, Clubhouse for a year, doing an audio only room, Roberta was there with me every single week for a year straight without fail. And she's been out taking care of some family uh, issues. And so I have missed you, my sister, and your dedication and support will never be forgotten. And thanks and welcome back. Tell everybody who you are and what you do. And Roberta has a tremendous story. She started her business some years ago with three boys as a single mom and has been tremendously successful. So welcome, my sister.
Well, thank you, GI, and it feels good to be back. I'm Roberta Moore, President and CEO of Moore Incorporated. This August, we celebrated 20 years in business. We started off in the federal government as I started with the Hub Zone certification and then 8A. I always say that I was young and ambitious, and I did my own 8A and my own Hub Zone and all of that good stuff. But our biggest customer was Walter Reed, the military treatment facilities, and we provided healthcare staffing. And so, as GI mentioned, the federal government is the biggest spender and one of the best customers you could ever have. And so I just want to be here to support. And that's my statement that I really like to make, is that the government, it's the best kept secret, and a lot of people don't know about it. And the more you know and get involved, you won't regret it. It will catapult you to do other things. Currently, I'm in the financial services, or I guess it's financial literacy is what I should say. And I think that that's very important, especially for small businesses, because we know how to make money, but we have to make our money work for us. So again, I'm Roberta Moore, President and CEO of Moore Incorporated.
Thanks, Roberta. Again, it's great to have you back. We've got folks listening in. I see we got Daryl here. We got Chris. We got some return listeners, which I so appreciate. We got Kylie. I've seen her before. CJ, thanks again. Eric Miller, Donna, Tamika, Nicholas, Chelsea, James. Ogo, hey, Ogo and I had a great strategy session. I met her a couple of weeks ago. We had a business strategy meeting, which I think was hopefully beneficial for her. If you got any further questions, and Tasha as well, just some amazing people. But I would be remiss if I did not shout out my Air Force veteran brother, E.G. Primus. He's at the top of my screen on the far left, retired colonel in the Air Force and retired VA acquisitions executive, and just a brilliant mind in his own right. I hope, he said he would listen in this time, but I hope in future sessions, E.G., you'll become part of the regular crew of folks that generously give their intellectual capital and insight into government contracting. Again, welcome and thanks for joining. Anybody have a question? I'm going to wait a minute. Raise your hand if you'd like to come to the stage and ask a question. No question is a bad question. I'll give you a few minutes. Anybody, let's see, anybody on LinkedIn Live asking a question? Okay, somebody's coming to the stage. Hey, Nicholas. Nicholas is thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas is a solution strategist out of South Carolina. Tell us, and a retired senior. Oh, no, you're connected to Jackie Robinson Burnett, who's a retired SES. So tell us what you're doing, what can we do for you, and what's your question, Nicholas?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Nice to hear from you again, Michelle. Of course, I'm a former soldier, United States Army.
All right, Army. How many of you in the audience? Wait a minute. Let's see how many your folks we got in the audience. Any Army out there? Give me a thumbs up. Any Army on LinkedIn live? If you're Army, put Army or whatever service you're in. Put that in the chat. And go ahead.
Yeah, and so I'm also a former intelligence analyst. I worked with a Fortune 500 company, Booz Allen Hamilton. I worked with a few other firms as well. But now I am basically like, this is it. Like I've made the choice to, get into government contracting business-wise on the business side. And this is what I'm building. This is my baby, so to speak.
How long you been in the game? How long since you took the jump?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's been since 2016.
Wow.
2016. And the crazy part is, I had a partner, and we actually started a firm, and we were doing pretty well. We were building it up, making connections. I even made a move down to Miami.
Wow.
To further the business.
Wow.
And that's where I met Eric.
Eric Coffey. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Get that guy in here. Get him in here. I love it.
Yeah, man. I met Eric down there, and we ended up closing that company out. Just we had our differences and all that kind of stuff.
Can you pause there? I'm gonna do a couple of interruptions when I think there's key points to make. If you'll allow me to do that.
Oh, sure thing.
Let me tell you something. I tell these women, I'm just gonna speak in the talk that I talk to the women veterans. Date around. Do not be so quick to get married. You get excited about the money. Yeah, this person can do this, they can do that. Date around. Test it out. Team with them first. See if they do you right. See if they give you money as a teaming partner. And whether or not their reputation is something that you would want tied to your reputation, right? I'm just saying. Okay. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to make a teaching point there.
Yeah. And, to touch on that, oh, man. Look, people can look great on paper, and they can even execute well. Not to say anybody's a bad person or anything, but how people handle situations means a lot, because you gotta remember that people like we're not machines. We have feelings, we have lives, kids, family, all that. So all that plays a part in business. Whether we want to acknowledge that or not. Mental health, physical health, sexual health, all that. And so all those things come into play, and it all came into play in that first company. But now I've just decided to go solo.
So let me ask you a question. I just want to. This is so good, because these are conversations people don't have until they've walked the journey you've had, right? And hit a few potholes along the way, right? So so would you say that your insight, all the things you mentioned, were those value and character issues, or what? Because you said on paper, so that means the insight you're sharing with us had to do more with what you saw in their walk and less about what you saw in their talk.
All right, this is what I'll say. All right, this young guy graduated from the Citadel, was also in the Army. So he had a lot of character, had a lot of spunk, very determined, strong-willed, all of that. But I don't want to.
Well, don't keep this it's not attribution, not being, well, I can't say, I used to be able to say it's not being recorded, but it's on LinkedIn Live, so it could be recorded. Right. Yeah, so don't want to identify. I'm really trying to use this as an opportunity to give others insight so that when they decide to partner or decide to team with someone, they learn from your wisdom.
Okay, and so and I like to be honest, and
do that. Do it.
So he was a little bit younger than me, and like I told him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "you're a sharp guy, you're a good looking guy, man. So I know you're gonna have like a lot of females, I told him, I said, "Look, bro," I said, because I was in the arena. He had never been in the government contract arena, and I told him, I said, "Look, man," I said, "you're gonna be rubbing shoulders with some really good people, and your base is going to change. Like you're going to change. Like you're going to become more affluent. This type of thing." And I told him, I said, "Hey man, you got to protect yourself, sexually and stuff like that."
Right.
And well, he did not, his sexual health changed, and with that, changed his mentality. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's something I never expected, because on paper it looked great, and then I knew him, and he is very hardworking, very astute, like sharp guy. You know what I'm saying? But when that happened, it changed a lot about him.
Gotcha. I got it. But I think that still can be categorized as character and values, right? And it's very important that they match, that they be congruent, aligned might even be a better word, right? Because you don't know a person. It's like, I'll use all these examples that I use with the women veterans. You don't know the strength of a tea bag until it's in hot water. Okay, so once the hot water came, that's when you get to see what's in it. So tell us what your business question is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to but I thought it was important that, how many of y'all, was that valuable for you all, or did I go too deep? I'm trying to pull up here, but I do want you all to benefit from that insight, because there's, it's better we learn from Nicholas than to learn ourselves. Go ahead, Nicholas.
Yeah, I mean, business wise, I really didn't have any questions.
Well, what kind of business are you in, first of all? Are you in the Intel now?
Well, no, I'm out of Intel. I'm actually I want to go into cyber staffing.
Gotcha.
That's where I'm aiming.
Gotcha.
And there was a lady in the group the last time I was in here with you. Her and I are supposed to hook up and talk about some things.
Man, you made my night. That's all it is. That's what this is. That's why I love LinkedIn more than I like Clubhouse, for the exact reason you just said. There's the opportunity to look at people's bio or profile, see who they know, what they're about, what they've done, and have a better, opportunity to have meaningful conversations about what their capability, what they're bringing to the table. So cyber staffing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so what can we do for you? How can we help?
I wanted to know more about what you said about the White House. What was that?
White House. So I'm going to put it in the chat on the LinkedIn Live as well. It's the White House Equity.gov. First of it's whitehouse.gov/equity.
Okay.
And when you go there, you are going to see all of the plans they'll have, the VA has their plan, small SBA, DHA, etc. all have their plans, and they talk about what they're committed to, right? So are you certified um, as a in cyber already?
Yes.
Okay. Um, and are you certified to teach other companies about cyber and how to get their certification?
No, I'm not.
Okay, that might be something because, one of the things I talked with Ogo about, earlier this week when she and I were kind of talking strategy about where she's going. Sometimes we have to look at certain opportunities as lead generators, and at the same time, the best lead generators in my mind are the ones that where you're making money and they're generating leads at the same time, right? Not these no cost lead generators. And so you may be able to better understand cyber staffing by helping these companies uh, get more people certified, if you will. And I'm just going to read Barbara Stankowski. Hey, lady. Barbara Stankowski is my business coach, retired U.S. Navy captain, went into business in her 50s, sold it 13 years later, and grew it to 40 plus million. I'm so proud of her. But she's adopted me and the Vet Biz Lady programs that I've been running over the last year, and has been the business coach and room mother to every session that we did throughout the entire 2021 and 20 now going into 2022. And we are going to be facilitating a retreat for $10 million women veterans, and they will receive coaching and facilitation for the next 6 months. So we are so excited about that. But Barbara says partnerships can be problematic, as you said. Important that values, vision, and goals are aligned. And I couldn't agree more. Thanks for coming up, EG. Come on, help a sister out. You got the juice. EG, I tried to accept you. So what that may mean is you may need to update your LinkedIn. Try again to come up, but it may mean you need to update your LinkedIn app if you come up and you can't get up on stage, but raise your hand again. Nicholas, so first of all, let's see if we can get EG up here. Okay, I think EG, I tried again. If you will exit and come back in, you should come back in your same place, update your LinkedIn app, and then come on back in and raise your hand. So you're looking for, I gave you the equity and government contracting website. How else can we serve you? Oh, there you are, EG. Perfect. You got something to say? Come on up here, buddy.
I am looking for it right now. Where's the chat located?
Oh, it's on the LinkedIn Live. There's no chat on this, so on LinkedIn Live, but there's no chat in the LinkedIn audio is what I meant to say, but it's on LinkedIn Live. But it is, if you go to www or just put whitehouse.gov/equity.
Okay, gotcha.
It should come up. Hey, EG, jump on in, buddy. Unmute yourself with that button.
For the opportunity, Michelle.
Hey, you're welcome
Nicholas,
anytime.
Nicholas, a couple of points. Number one, I tell people all the time, 3 important things you have to know in business: processes, relationships, and trust. Okay? And you can't spell all of those words without the letter R, which is relationships. Okay? Michelle hit it on the head. You have to team with the right people, but you have to develop the right relationships. I would tell you one of the things I learned early from my mentor, Jackie Zell, was it is easier to get rid of your spouse than it is to get rid of a business partner. And I see you experienced that challenge earlier already. So congratulations for being able to get out of that. But you're very fortunate that it didn't hurt you, and that's why it is important that you know who you're going to partnership with. The next point I like to make is Michelle talked about cybersecurity and being able to be certified to help others. That program, there's a cost associated with that program. The government has taken a slow roll in it for right now. For some reason, they're slow rolling it right now. But to Michelle's point, if you can get that certification, it's a feather in your cap, and it will help you guide other contractors. And as you are able to guide other contractors, you will be able to develop those relationships that you need in order to build your business base. Over.
Awesome. Thank you so much. What is the name of the certification, if you guys don't mind?
I'll have to look up the exact name.
I'll have to look it up, but I think if you type in federal government cybersecurity business certification, and I see we got Keith coming up. Maybe Keith, you know the answer to that question. Keith Moore, introduce yourself. Keith is committed to small and minority owned businesses.
Hi, good evening, Michelle and others, to everyone. My name is not only Keith Moore, but operator of the MBDA Federal Procurement Center. And my guess would be coming in late, not hearing the whole conversation or even the full question. You might be talking about the CMM2 certification?
That is correct.
Yeah. And it's interesting to be able to do the research on that certification, because there was timelines associated with, and we might be on the second round. And if you miss the deadline of applying, then you have to wait for the next round. And that process of from application to review of your application might be the thing that we want to be real concerned about, of how far we may be behind on being certified so that you can be a part of the, I would say, the floodgate of funding opportunity that, qualified, certified firms would be in a position to get, approved and be on the front line for funding. Those companies, of course, are going to be, the large Northrop Grumman's, Lockheed Martin's, Patel's, et cetera, because they know the system, the language, and they started at the beginning of the process. But I would say that don't lose hope and don't be faint of heart. It's never been easy. And it's really something that you need to dig heels in and be committed to engaging in the application process. And if there's an interest in knowing more about that, please send me an email at kmoore@mbdafpcentral.com. On our last featured article, What Works News You Can Use, we had a minority-owned, woman-owned firm who is literally an icon of knowledge when it comes to...
Well, why don't you share that with him, and so maybe he can stalk her, or that's not a nice word.
Yeah,
but it's, socially stalk her and look at her website and see what she's doing.
The name of the company is Silotech, and the CEO is Tiffany Tremont. They're out of Texas, and happy to put that together, certainly for.
Thank you.
Interested, yeah.
No, I think that's important because, when you're looking at this information, this is something I was just talking with some colleagues of mine, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to be speaking to the Asian American Chamber of Commerce. And I was telling him, he was worried about, well, we can't tell them that, or we can't tell them this. And I'm of the opinion about being transparent. If it's on the internet, I'm talking about it. That's my box. If it's public knowledge, what I believe this forum has the opportunity to do is to give context to the public information and to make it clearer about what you need to know now, in the middle, and near the end, because their information is so overwhelming. And if you agree with me, give me some, reactions from the audience. It is so overwhelming that you don't know where to start, or even if you're looking at the information, you don't know what to do with it. And so, that's what I love about the conversations that happen in this room, in this session, in this forum, is that transparency is important and context is important. Because I heard a pastor say, and I will never forget it, he said, when you don't understand the context of something, you're conned out of the true meaning of the text, which means you could be making a decision or interpreting it in a way that would cause you to make or take actions that you shouldn't, or delay in taking actions that you should, right? So, I'm always trying to determine what the context is. And Keith, thank you for coming to the stage. And as always, you're a valuable contributor. Thanks, EG, as well. Do we have anybody else that wants to come up and ask a question? You got some heavy hitters on the stage here now, so don't waste this opportunity sitting down there being quiet. Same thing on LinkedIn Live. If you've got a question you'd like for me to ask a executive leader, retired from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, a successful CEO, woman, owned business, and the director or the executive director of the MBDA Federal Procurement Center, please raise your hand or put a question in the chat on LinkedIn.
Real quick, Mr. Moore, what was your email address again?
K Moore.
Okay.
At mbdafpcenter.com.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Love it. I actually heard you writing versus typing. That is a rare sound. Most people are typing it in their phone, so I'm smiling from ear to ear. Love it. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Hopefully this session and you coming up and asking and your insight on partnerships was just invaluable. Thank you so much for that transparency and authenticity.
Thank you.
Hey, Ugo, what's up, girl?
Hi, Michelle. Good evening.
Good evening. Tell them who you are, what you do, and then I want you to tell them how we met and describe our strategy session. We did an hour strategy session. Go ahead, girl.
No problem. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ogo Kwame. I am, what do I call myself? I am a facilitator. I make things happen. Please excuse my kids and husband in the background. They're being who they are at this time of the night. What I do, or what I am pursuing, and Michelle is helping me to achieve this goal, is I want to bring more women and minorities and disadvantaged groups who have health-focused businesses into the government arena. I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity. Well, I say I stumbled on it to be able to win a contract in the government space, and it was like a dopamine shot. As soon as I got in and I learned the process, I was addicted, and I quickly realized, with all the years I've been in healthcare, that the way that I could make change happen in this small sphere and this small influence I had is to be able to sell what I know and my experience and my perspective to the government and implement that alongside our leaders. And so I've met a lot of women and other disadvantaged groups who have amazing ideas for how our healthcare system can be improved, not just domestically, but globally, but they all struggle with the same thing. We're all stuck in the side hustle phase. We never really grow beyond making a couple dollars here and there. And we really never realize the impact we seek to make. And a number of the women in disadvantaged groups that I've interacted with, they're former healthcare workers. So they're coming out of working in companies because they want to be able to influence change. And it's been very difficult for them to see that, to realize that impact, not to mention realize significant revenue. So I want to be a facilitator. I want to help change that. And I want to bring those individuals with those ideas, with those services, and start to increase the diversity of vendors that we have in the healthcare arena so that we can start to address the equities that are going on through the groups who are the most disadvantaged, who represent the sectors where we want to change in healthcare. So that's what I'm working on with Michelle, and we were able to think through how can we start. And Michelle, funny enough, after our conversation, I kind of coined this, and I've been telling everyone, how can we start locally and expand globally?
Yes.
And that's my mantra right now. It's, helping these women in minority groups and disadvantaged groups start that impact in their local communities. So getting connected with their local governments, state governments, and starting to get a seat at the table, and from there grow so that they get on the federal landscape and then on international landscape. And that way, collectively, as a coalition, we're impacting the health system, and we're doing it strategically. And as we grow, as opportunities come up, we can now collaborate. It's not just OGO trying to change the world and change healthcare. It's us as a collective working strategically to improve healthcare. So that's what I've been working on, and I'm super passionate and really want to see this take foothold. I think my question for tonight is how, knowing our president's goals around vendor diversity and equity, organizations like myself that are really trying to uplift that and bring more opportunities to those who don't know this information. They don't, even if they do know it, it's hard to interpret. It's hard to figure out what to do. I'm a very fast learner. I could pick up literally anything. I tell everyone, don't teach me anything because I'll run with it. And then it's over.
I love it.
And so but that's not the same for everyone. So I want to be able to bridge that gap. So what can I do to support these efforts beyond, just thinking about it from my perspective? What are some of the things that I should be taking into account from your perspectives in the work that you do within the government? Sorry, long-winded question, but
anybody wanna take a stab at that? Welcome, Aaliyah. Anybody want to take a stab at that?
Give the last part of that question again, please.
Sure. So organizations like my own, who are not only bringing health solutions to the government landscape, but helping to facilitate bringing in other diverse vendors and small business owners, what can we do to support President Biden's initiative and priorities around diversity? Are there things that we should consider doing that we may or may not be doing now, or the government may not have the bandwidth to do, that we can potentially support?
Okay. But you're talking about coming up with creative solutions, I guess. And the way you do that, first of all, do you do any data mining on either GovWin, GovTribe, or SAM.gov, any of those sources?
SAM.gov, yes.
Okay. Well, if you look at those data mining tools, there's constantly a lot of opportunities that are identified on those areas. A lot of times you may see something in there that you may not have the full capability to do, but you team with the right person, you can take it down. I try to encourage small businesses to do more of that. If you're going to go, for example, to try to get something at the VA, it is great if you are a woman-owned. It is great if you are a hub zone. But it's even greater is if you are a service disabled veteran-owned that has those two caveats attached to you. And if you don't have the service disabled owned catalog target on your back, then you, as a woman-owned or a hub-zone company, need to find an appropriate partner, but make sure to date them first, like Michelle said, date them first. Okay, but find that appropriate partner to partner with and be able to go after those initiatives that President Biden has put out there. Now, his initiative lays anything from supply chain to infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do the appropriate data mining to find that sweet spot that you're in that is covered. But if you're not constantly going into or putting feeds in GovWin, GovTribe, or SAMS, where it'll feed you information automatically, you're behind the curveball. And I would say the second piece to that is, as you are able to do that data mining and catalog those things that you're interested in, GovWin, GovTribe, and SAMS will all be sending you information as anything that's related to those things that you put in the system come up. Once that is done, you have to get aggressive and make sure you have the appropriate contractual vehicle that you can take it down. For example, do you have a GSA schedule? Or do you have a federal supply schedule? Or are you on OASIS? Are you on iOS P3 or 4? There's so many contractual vehicles out there that people do not have. And then you're going to come, not you in this case, but I'm just saying the term you. The person comes to the table with a pocket knife to take down a big bear, and they need a big hunting gun in order to do it. So I hope that summarizes your question, or I hope I was able to at least answer part of it and direct you in some direction that you need to consider.
No, that was extremely helpful. Thank you.
So, Ogo, also, I think, EG, said something that I think deserves foot stomping. Research, 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 market research. And I met with a company after that I met at the SBA Challenger conference, and I met with her as well and her husband. I think they were at the table with you when I told everybody at the table, hey, you guys are the last sessions. I'm going to do a 1 hour strategy session with everybody. Here's what I told her. I sat with her husband and her for an hour, and 15-20 minutes of that time was spent in SAMS.gov. First of all, you must understand the language of the agency for which you are searching, because many agencies speak about common things in different ways. Like they were looking to be in logistics, and when we started looking, that ended up being support services, that ended up being resource management. And so what I it was a revelation to me, because I hadn't been out on SAMS.gov in quite a while. What I suggested that they do is go and pull up old contracts of the agency in which you're trying to do business, and see how do they communicate, what's their culture, what's their language, and then take those words, those common keywords, and put them into SAMS to search. And the amount of search results we got was enormous. They couldn't believe it. But I've always loved being in the library, so when the internet came out, I love the internet, because as long as you know what to ask it, you can find anything. And there's no reason to reinvent the wheel when somebody else has already done it. Look at the companies who have gotten the previous contract, right? Look at how do they communicate about their capabilities and skills on their website, and their blogs, and their press releases. We call it funnel hacking. And this is something I love from spending time on Clubhouse, the Breakfast with Champions, a lot of those folks are in online businesses, and they talk about funnels, and they talk about funnel hacking. And all funnel hacking is doing is looking at the process that someone else does business, or how do they display, market, or communicate about their business, and using that as a template to do the same for your business, rather than feeling like you've got to come up with this new unique way of doing it, when it can be new and unique, but you're not starting from scratch. So I hope that helps.
Yes, that helps. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Always. And I'm looking forward to that success. And as I tell the ladies, please don't forget to let me know. My day was made today. We did an event at VA in January with the construction and facilities management folks, where we had all the major construction companies there, and about 110 women were there. And one of the women sent me an email today and said, I've been accepted into the Clark Construction Strategic Vendor Partnership Program. That's why I do what I do. That's what it's all about, success. But here's one thing I want to remind you all. Government people, and I know EG will foot stump, are people too. We don't get bonuses. Some of us, most of us don't. Some do. Senior executives do. But the reason we do what we do is because we like to help small businesses, and it's rewarding. So when you get a contract, when you take a nugget and it benefits you, giving us that feedback only helps us want to give you more. So when EV is talking about these relationships, these government relationships are just as important as these corporate and B2B relationships. So with that, I see we have Aaliyah here. It's 7:54. We've been talking and taking a couple of questions. We've heard about partnerships. We heard that from, is he still here with us? Did he leave us? Nicholas. Thanks for staying with us, Nicholas. We heard from Nicholas about the importance of picking a great partner, date around. We also heard from him about his effort and goal to be a cyber security staffing company, and he's working on that, and he's going to be looking at the cyber business certification and being certified to teach that. We heard also from our amazing panel of E.G. Primus, a retired VA executive leader in acquisitions. We got Keith Moore here with us, the MBDA Federal Procurement Center executive director, and Roberta Moore, president CEO of Amora. And so, hey, if you got a question, come on in the room. Ask a question, raise your hand, come on up, because we got about 30 minutes left. So, hey, let's make these. I know I've been doing a lot of editorializing, so forgive me. And Aaliyah, introduce yourself and tell us what can we do for you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aaliyah Collins. I'm a service-connected Navy vet.
All right, Navy.
I've been following Miss Michelle since she started the vet biz before I got out in 2005.
Wow.
So I've had a couple bumps in the road, but a reason why I came up was because Miss Ogo is her business aligns with what I'm trying to actually do. I'm trying to change the way medical services are impacted by veterans and low-income families. And I'm in public health. I have written service connecting programs for nonprofits after going through my own problems with nonprofits in the area when I was homeless, or just fighting to get my rating to be proper. So the things that I've written things like housing for health spaces, where we are focused on nonprofits that provide SSVF program funding for veterans. And what we do is I want to go out and help these nonprofits connect with service providers that actually help the nonprofit meet the client's goal of getting to permanent housing. Also with breastfeeding, I'm a licensed lactation consultant. I had problems there, so I wrote a program for that. Also wrote a program for it called Milk Behind Bars Project, which focuses on helping reduce shackled births in the judiciary when women are incarcerated. I've been a little shy in getting into things because, you know, when I don't have the resources to do everything that needs to be done up front. And I've had situations where someone won top 40 under 40 using my model for my maternity business in the Washingtonian, and is still running that business today, and had absolutely no idea about what that field was until I did a 30-second pitch and didn't have the things I needed to protect my business. Mm-hmm. So I come in here and I listen every week just to get, you know, revved up so that I can get on my feet the right way this time, because I have had so much experience in seeing things done the wrong way that I want to make sure that we are not only getting the data we need as public health educators, but we're getting the impact that this money is supposed to be out there to help people, and it's not being spent on the people that it's supposed to be spent on. It's being spent on, you know, and that's been lost to the date in October. So,
can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were Navy?
Yes, ma'am.
How long did you stay in?
I was in for 4.5 years. I had a stroke in the Navy, so I had to get out.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, thank you for your service. Thank you for following us. Thank you for joining us every week. That means so very much. Let me ask you, why do you believe that they stole something from you?
So I was doing 30-second pitches. I was driving Uber Black when Uber Black first started out. Mm-hmm. And a gentleman got in the car, and I had great success. I was actually working with the DC Department of, they were helping me with my business plan. And mm-hmm. We were getting everything on the road. Mm-hmm. You know, I won top 50 businesses in the eBay Business Challenge. Mm-hmm. And this guy. But what? But you told him what you did. I told him what I did. But yes, why? But why do you think he stole it? Because the way. No. I'm not saying he didn't. But okay. Why do you think he stole it when you still have it? I don't feel like it. Like, I know the whole idea. You know, they don't have a you. The market may be saturated, but they don't have a you. I'm just saying that I'm just stating my experience. Ms.
Right,
Michelle.
right. But what that has told you is that your idea has value. That your idea, he tested it for you. Yes, he did. So I'm just trying to bring the positive to the situation. I'm not saying that you're not, what you're saying isn't true, that he or she or whoever it was wasn't wrong. I'm trying to affirm you that it's still there.
Yes, ma'am.
And that because they took it, stole it, whatever, does not mean you don't still have it. Do you get me?
Yes, ma'am.
You have it. And don't be apprehensive about doing it. Instead, you should be running full speed forward. Because he tested it already. Take it somewhere else. Rinse and repeat. Go funnel hack him. You feel me?
Yes, ma'am.
Funnel hack him. Stop trying to figure out something new and different. There's nothing wrong with the new and different, but if he took what was your idea, he figured it out, he's worked it, go funnel hack them. Go sign up like you're a person who wants the services, and capture each step of the process, rinse, repeat, go and add what he didn't get, and then blow it up, girl.
Okay.
Can I make a comment to that, please?
Go ahead, please.
Another thing to add to what Michelle just said, in business, guys, there's something called business intelligence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know what business intelligence is? It's basically listening for information and communicating it to those who need it so they can benefit from it. So that person, Aaliyah, I did say your name right, right, Aaliyah?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
That person listened to your information, he did his business intelligence, and he stole it. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, you need to be very careful, everybody on this call, you need to be very careful sharing your brilliant ideas with others. Because at the end of the day, they could become a millionaire and you still be $1 heir. Okay? You have to come up with your ideas, guys, and you have to execute it. You have to put it in play and make it happen.
Oh my God, that was gold. What EG gave you guys was gold. I'm telling you, when you get an idea, stop trying to perfect it. And I'm saying I am guilty, and I'm working on something right now. God told me to do it, and I'm obsessed. I'm like, I got to hurry up and do this because, seasons don't always last. The only thing we own and control is our time, but the seasons we don't control. And so if you got an idea, I have this philosophy that I learned on Clubhouse: start ugly, finish beautiful. So now I just jump out there, just like I didn't know I was going to do StreamYard today. Pastor Jeff says he's been trying to get with me, nail me down to help me. And I have been hard to catch, busy. And I said, I'm just jumping out there. So I'm doing LinkedIn Live streaming while I'm talking to y'all. I've never done it before, and I just did it. Now I'm gonna try, when I come back next week and the week after that, I'm gonna try to make it better. But my point is just jump. Just jump, because there's somewhere else, somebody in the world, somewhere else who probably has a similar idea. They just executed it, and that was gold. Thank you so much, EG. Just priceless. We've had Michelle. Yep, go ahead.
Hey, can I touch on what both you and EG just said? And I want to relate this to Aaliyah. What EG said was, it was gold, because corporate espionage is really a thing. Like just how the military, or these countries, they have, espionage, which, like spies, and, they have like insiders and honeypots and all this kind of stuff, to take advantage of other countries and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's real. Like, these companies, like, this is what they do. They have people dedicated to that. They're not, they're on the payroll, but they're not in the spotlight, But so you have to be careful. You definitely have to protect your intellectual property. Like, that's a real thing, And I used to work for the NSA, and listen, it's all real. I'm telling you. But as far as like what you said just a minute ago, Michelle, when you were talking about just taking that leap of faith and not being perfect, executing, all that's real, and procrastination. I literally just had this conversation yesterday, and it's like ideas have a timer on them.
Shelf life.
Yeah, they do. I promise you. Like at one point I wanted to be a screenwriter, like as a hobby or whatever. But it's like I had all these great ideas for these movies, and I promise you, every time I would have an idea, it probably would be like maybe a year, 2 years, sometimes longer. But that movie would always come out. Mm-hmm. Always, somebody would make it, and I'm like, wow, like this is a real thing. So yeah, Miss Aaliyah, like you definitely got to guard, whatever it is that you hold dear and value. Like you have to guard it with your life. It's worth something.
I want to do a counter to that. Not you specifically. The word guard, right? I personally believe I don't operate in the lack mentality. Since my kids were toddlers, I've been telling them, there's always more. There's always more, right? Because we can protect our ideas, but some ideas need others to really develop and flush out and be really what they could be. And so when we protect, right, when we protect it, it's also like, trying to keep a baby. If a baby is going to grow, sometimes socialization is important, right? So, if it's something trademarked, something that's never been done, I get that. But if it is an idea, many times the development of that idea really happens in community. And I believe that there's almost 2 million women veterans in this country and rapidly growing. I don't think I'm intended to serve every woman veteran owned business. I'm only supposed to serve the ones that are appointed to me. And I think it's the same thing with customers. You can't serve anybody anyway. So just focus on, you know, bringing the idea to market, getting your revenue model, straight, and your back of the house, the whole, banker, lawyer, insurance, etc., and just run. Because if you spend so much time trying to guard it, you can't keep a hand closed and have it open at the same time. I just don't want to enforce the lack mentality. Keep it, because it'll die and it'll never come to its full beauty. Let me just put it that way. That's just my view. Not saying there's anything wrong with, protecting your intellectual property. I think you should do that. But at the same token, I think there's a balance, and only you know where that is. All right, we got Mama You, Miss Corliss. Hey, lady, how are you?
Yeah. Yes. Good evening. I wanted to. You mentioned something about when you said we, the government, what we do, and so forth and so on. Right. I need to say something, baby. I want everybody on this line to know that just because you are smart, committed, focused, caring, determined, fierce, and all that, and some most stuff. Look, they should not expect every person that works for the government to be like you. And I don't know whether they would have that impression.
True. That's
and
true.
You are not being financially compensated for what you do. You're doing it because that's you. So I need to let it be known. And I've seen you. I've seen you work your ideas. I've seen you. I mean, you would think that someone was paying you millions and millions with what you do, but that's just you.
Yes, ma'am.
But let me speak over your life, baby. One day, guess what?
Yes, ma'am.
You're gonna get it.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's gonna be running over.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I'm gonna tell you, like somebody told me once, your blessings are gonna chase you down.
I received
your
that.
blessings are gonna chase you down for all that you do to help others. Trust me, that there's going to come a day that's going to happen. And I wanted to say something to Aaliyah. It's interesting because Aaliyah is my nonprofit, Agape Love and Action. That's where I do a lot of work for the veterans, supporting the veterans. There's always room for great. There's always room for great.
Amen.
And I'm a living witness. I'm a living witness to that. There's always room for great. Someone may take something and do something that you have an idea, but it's not the way you would do it.
Right.
So just be encouraged with that.
Mama,
and when I started doing something, who does this at 61? I was about 61 when I started. I've worked for the government most of my life. I worked before that. I've been a worker, an employee. Hello. And then I became the boss lady. And that's when I started making money. So if I'm 61, I don't see anybody looks as old as I am up here. All y'all look young folks. You know, there's so much available. Just know that you can. Just know that you can and be determined to do it. Don't give up. Don't let someone else tell you what you can and cannot do. They can define your job description. They can define that, but they can't define who you are because of whose you are. So let me drop the mic on that. But I love y'all, and I
love you too.
Such a blessing. Such a blessing.
Thank you so much I receive your blessing, your words. I believe that everything that you said, and I'm waiting in expectation. And bless you for the generosity that you've shown to me. I appreciate it. And if you all don't know, Mama U, which is she's affectionately called by the veteran community, is a 365 24/7 veteran supporter, and her nonprofit Aaliyah. Please go out, and if you go to her profile, you'll see it there. And she does some amazing work. And thank you so much for joining. And she is a successful woman-owned business. Let me just say that as well. Tanisha, hey, lady.
Hello, G.I. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. Thank you. Are you on both sides, huh? You on both sides?
I left the other side because my phone was cutting up, so I'm back on audio.
Okay.
But I would like to take this time to basically give flowers. I look forward to not just getting the knowledge here each night for free 99, but I have to give you your flowers. I touch and agree with Mama U. I have to give flowers to quite a few people on your broadcast because what you do is not only provide information, but it has actually pulled me from the depths of some stuff. And I want to give a kiss and a hug to Mama U and to Barbara Stankowski. Okay. There's some things that have gone on behind the scenes. GI, your nose should have been itching. It pulled me back into what I needed to do. I want to give flowers also to, I know Coach John usually be up here.
Yeah, he had an obligation this week.
Okay, and also to Roberta Moore. Hello, I think to Mr. Keith Moore, but I want to speak specifically, and I can't see who I'm looking for. They're probably back in the thing, but anyway, I took some very simplistic steps the last 2 weeks. And so the bigger picture is to definitely get into government contracting, but I heard a lot of your coaches get up here and say there are things right underneath your nose in your back door. I did the old-fashioned way of grounds, boots on the ground, and went door knocking literally, and basically will be signing a contract in the local spectrum as I work my way into government contract. And so these were tips. They're very simple, but sometimes we're looking too far. We're looking past the forest for the trees, I think the saying is. And so this has been very phenomenal with things, not just to provide value to someone's life that in a dark place behind losing parents and not having that wisdom that I needed, reaching out to Mama U and Barbara Stankowski, but also to some of your people that get up here as coaches, giving very simple tips and nuggets. And I heard it differently. I've heard it before, but I heard it differently on this platform. So I just want to take the time to give flowers, to say thank you. I touch and agree with Mama U for you, Coach GI, because to whom much is given, much is required. And when you plant the seeds, it's got to come up. So I'm hoping that I'm standing around in this room one day when you get ready to make that big mention to your intimate family here on this platform. So thank you so very much. And thank you to all the village, all the people in the village, the hearts and hands that reach out and touch and just love unconditionally and provide valuable information. It has definitely taken fruit in my life, and I just want to say thank you.
Wow.
Amen.
Wow. Well, Mama, did you want to say something else?
No, I'm just saying amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. It is so good to see that things are moving along, and in Clubhouse, that's what I learned. There was a lot of information. I listened a lot, but the success came when I executed what I heard, and a lot of the marketing, a lot of the strategies I learned in Clubhouse, I'm executing right here. Right. And so I thank you so much for the generosity of your words. And, if I had to sum up what Tanisha said is dig in your own backyard. And when it is successful, pick it up and go dig in another backyard that looks the same as the backyard you digging in. So just like I told that company earlier this week, if it works in Utah, they have a contract doing some work in Utah with the state of Utah. And I said, well, what's wrong with Wisconsin? What's wrong with Michigan? What's wrong with, hey, take that same thing and go. And I think I told Olga the same thing. Pick it up. If it worked for Maryland, if it worked for the state of Maryland, it'll work for Virginia. It'll work for West Virginia. It'll work for Georgia if they want it and need it. And so, it's a great way to improve and expand your opportunities and your business by just continuing to do what you do excellent in a different market. And I gave the example, there's a Netflix named something else in South America and Africa, but it's Netflix. Somebody took the idea and went to those countries and rinsed it off, remarketed it, tailored it for the culture and the country, and executed it. So, if they can do it, we can do it. Any other questions on the stage? Any other questions from the audience? Mama you got an amen on the LinkedIn Live side. They said amen, Mama you.
Amen. Yeah, I was on that side for a few minutes too. I wanted to check both of them out.
Any other questions, comments? Roberta, you've been quiet, lady. What you got over there?
Well, I'll say amen to Mama you as well, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm listening and taking notes and putting it all in my hat, another feather in my cap.
Beautiful. Well, thank you all for your generosity. I want to give Keith and Mama you, we're going to end at 8:30 exactly on the dot. So I want to give you all an opportunity to, if you want to talk about, share something that is coming up, and I know you may want to do that, Keith, and then I'm going to go to EG, and then we're going to close out.
So thank you. I have one thing I wanted to say. I'm sorry. I wanted to say, we talk about partnership, having a partner and teaming, etc. And this is coming from an old person, okay, old person's perspective. Before you grab the hand of someone else to walk to a place and go a distance with someone, first, please be sure that you take the time to know yourself. So you won't have to try to depend on somebody else to tell you everything, to feed you everything. Mm-hmm. That's not partnership. That's not teaming. Mm-hmm. So please just take that little bit of time. You won't regret it. You won't ever regret it.
Oh, that's so powerful, because it's the same thing in any relationship, right? Until you know and love yourself, you can't really love anyone else. And if you're so dependent on that person telling you everything you need to know about business, then you're making decisions based off of what they said, not what you know. And I think that's so important. And if you know your values, then and your priorities and your vision, You can always go back to that as a litmus test. Does that align with what I'm doing? Does that align with where I want to go? Does that align with my vision? And that's why I tell people I don't do military sexual trauma. I don't do veteran employment. I don't do mental health. I don't do any of those things because that's not what God broke my heart about. My God broke my heart about increasing women veterans' wealth and presence in this country. That is my passion. And so people oftentimes invite me to do things, want me to help them with something, but I have to say no because it will take me away from what my mission, my focus is, and I would encourage you to write that out. And whenever it's in question, should I do this or should I not? Like Mama, you said, if you know yourself and you have those, your goals, your focus, your mission and vision of your company or your idea, guess what? If it doesn't bounce up against that, then you go, nope, sorry, I got to pass. But here's somebody else who might would benefit from that partnership or relationship. Thank you, Mama. You as always, great wisdom.
So let me hop on the last minutes of this evening by saying, Mama, you're not gonna put me in the old category. I got 3 years on you, effective November 11th. If you want to be so bold to state the age, we are in our third quarter, rounding the corner for our best quarter yet. Period. And that's what I believe. My mother, who passed away August 21st, 2020. If there was so many things that I remember about her, it says, man, wisdom, the power of wisdom. So I want to just close my interpretation of this evening's great discussion by going back to the conversation that each and every one of you had in reverse engineering back with Onya, I think it was, who really spoke in aspiration, a bit of a quandary, reflective of her history, but was eager to stay in the game. And I'm hearing a lot of healthcare, health and human services. I'm hearing a lot of nonprofit, and I'm hearing a lot of wanting to make a difference, and especially in the area of the health disparities that we all know exist, whether it's maternal health or racial equity, inequities. Please understand that those are code words for where you fit and your company fits into being a solution provider to the government. It's not just your passion that's going to get you moving forward, or even your purpose, but combined between your passion, your purpose, and your understanding of policy. I've heard a lot tonight about people echoing the appreciation and the value proposition associated with this administration's public policies. You're not wrong, you're very correct, that this is a historic and unprecedented time. I do not believe that we've ever seen an era by which Black and Brown, in particular, businesses have had an opportunity for such flow of funding. The magnitude of opportunity and blessings that are before us have to be, I believe, broken down into your own inspirational, divine understanding of how do you understand who's in charge and the gift that you've been given, and how do you break that down. I've also heard that, as EJ spoke to, partnerships and how to get into partnerships and what to look out for. You have to bring something to the table. And I think all of us who've been party to Lady GI's weekly gospel, we've been endowed by a particular knowledge, information, support system, and spirit that will allow you to really have a command of your subject matter gift. And so, how do you take all these blessings and move them forward in this lucrative environment? Well, I say one day at a time, with more confidence and even more humility, to recognize that you've all been called for a purpose. If in fact government contracting is in fact the thing that God has purposed you for, to make a living, I go back to the conversation I've had in previous sessions that don't let government contracting be your only job. Let it be your night job until it's your day job. You have to have other streams of revenue, whether it's real estate or a property that's paying your mortgage, investments that you've made, even the stock market in a sage manner, combined to allow you to be that CEO of your company. And I guess I'm speaking from the most humblest perspective, because I'm so thankful for persevering through 21 years and being able to now have a 5-year opportunity to be paid by the Department of Commerce to help businesses, and I've been doing that for 21 years. Here's the real gift. It just keeps getting better when you stay committed to your faith, to your focus. You will be guided to who to do business with, what level and what pace you should be doing business with. And, no weapon formed against you if you really believe in that principle. With that being said, I'm just so delighted to know that the health and human service area is where we probably can be helpful. So I'm going to give you my email again at let me do this. kmore@mbdafpcenter.com. And then I want you to email so that you can receive our What Works News You Can Use letter. Because what we did in this edition is to sort of celebrate.
Hey, Keith, I just want to say we're at 8:30. So if you wrap up, we want to let the rest of the panel close out. Thank you.
Absolutely. Just want to let you know that newsletter will help you begin to see the companies that we're probably going to be able to put you in touch with as a vendor, a subcontractor, a teaming partner, because they're looking for it, because they've been awarded a $100 billion contract with the Health and Human Services, and we are so delighted to have them as our client, as a shared outcome agreement with Hawaii. And we do not plan to just, boast over an IDIQ, but to make sure that we get task orders. And so therefore, your passion, your purpose, your services are needed, and we asked you to get in touch with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Keith, for all you're doing. I'm going to, Mama, I'm going to go to you. If you have any last words as we close out, and then my
last word is after that. We pass out the offering plate.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you so much, baby. Thank you, GI. You're the bomb.com. I'm telling you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all as well. EG.
I will be short, sweet, and to the point. Bottom line up front. Don't procrastinate. Folks that procrastinate will not make it. Take action. Live your dream. And always choose wisely. Trust is important. Trust your partners, but you have to develop that trust. It doesn't come overnight. That's all for today. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. I hope you'll join us. We're here every week, 7 to 8:30 EG. You have been just a tremendous, and I no surprise. I'm like, when you said you joined, I was so excited, and I hope you'll be a regular contributor. It means a lot. And a lot of folks are going to be blessed because of it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Ebony, I just realized, did you have a question?
I did.
Come on, girl.
We are running
No,
over
come on.
time.
Come on with it, girl. I would have
Yes.
I would have had Keith wrap up sooner. I didn't realize that we had another question. So
Yes.
please, come on.
Yes. So more so of a statement and kind of piggybacking on a lot of what the panelists said. Relationships are key. They are key, whether they're with your partners and with the government, because they have to like you as well and understand that it's a long game in many of the time, and you just have to have that patience and consistency. And I would tell you, some of my contracts that we've been able to win, these relationships have been 2 and 3 years in the making, but you just have to stay persistent, stay on course, and just keep going at it. Don't give up.
Oh, good word, good word. And what year are you in your 8A journey?
I am in business year 5, but 8A year 1.
Oh,
and
good for you.
I got an 8A contract for $4 million within 4 months of getting my 8A.
Wonderful. And I believe Mama You, who's to your left on my side, has been through that journey. I would recommend you connect with her, because there is a reason why more than 60 or 70% of 8A companies go out of business and fail at the end of their term. So understanding your strategy and what you need to know in year 1 will take you very far, and Mama You would be a tremendous resource.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a contract awarded in 2010 for 2 days. I'm still with that agency.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So yeah, seek out folks like Mama You and others, because 8A is a business development strategy. That means you're supposed to learn how to develop business, not just get business. And what happens with a lot of companies is they get the business, but they never learn how to build business and develop business, capture business on their own. So extremely important. But congratulations to you. And hey, we're looking forward to you soon after your term being a Mama You and mentoring others.
Thanks, Gi.
So who we got? We went through. Hey, Roberta, any last words?
No, Gia, I don't have anything.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you so much for everyone who came to the stage. Please remember, we'll be here next week, Wednesday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. I do see somebody in the room who is a member who has no picture, no profile. There's not a way to click on their picture, or when you click on their picture, no profile comes up. Please, if you're going to come in this room, don't ghost. Do not ghost or spy. If you're not going to be, transparent about who you are and what you're about, then please don't come in this room, because this room is all about adding value, connecting, collaborating. And if you don't want people to know who you are, then you probably shouldn't be in this room. So I'm just going to say that, because that's just how it is. Be straight up. And I appreciate everybody coming. I do want to say I never take for granted that you have decided to spend this time in this space. You could be anywhere in the world doing anything that you want, but you decided to be here. I hope that you've been blessed. I hope that you've been enriched, that you find it valuable, and that you will go and tell others, because the more we have in here, the better, the more knowledge is shared, the more connections, the more success. And I want to say, I want to say something that I think is very important. And I thank you, Mama. You, I kind of just do what I do, and I'm just a giver. I don't worry about who's stealing what, who's saying whatever. I do what God tells me to do. And so I know that in the end, I will be blessed. I don't know what that blessing looks like, but I truly believe that is the case when I am doing what I'm supposed to do. And so I'm saying that to say that I'm honored that you're here. You're supposed to be here. But please share social capital. Share social capital in the way that when you post on my LinkedIn, I don't get paid anything, but what it does is it tells LinkedIn that this audio feature need the features we're asking for, like our ability to chat, our ability to break off into breakout rooms, or some of the requests that I've made. But it lets them know that this is one of the rooms that's valuable. So please share your social capital. Hey, Enrique, thank you for joining. Please share your social capital by commenting about the value, about the success, a nugget that you learned, either in the live chat or on the post that announced this particular room. That's the least I ask you to do. The other part is your success. I wish that God will continue to enlarge your territory. That means more business, more opportunities, more blessing. May He bless you, bless you, bless you indeed. And may He keep you from evil. That's what Mama You and EG are talking about. Keep you from those who mean you evil, and keep evil from you, right? Keep you from evil and keep evil from you. But most of all, may He bless you indeed. We'll see you right back here next Wednesday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. It's been a pleasure. I will hang out a little bit on LinkedIn Live for any if you want to ask me a question over there, or you want to join over there. I'll be over there for a few minutes. What I've decided is I'm gonna do a 15-minute pre-show, and I'm gonna do a 15-minute post-show where it's live on LinkedIn. But thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks again, EG, Corliss, and Keith. Roberta, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Enrique? How you doing, buddy? I'm going to hang out here for a few minutes on LinkedIn Live. If you all have any questions, please put them in the chat. Any comments? My name is Michelle Gardner-Ince, aka GI. Enrique, I really enjoyed that funny post you put in there about leaving leaving deep footprints, and I thought you were telling that to me, and you're like, yeah, I got that from you. Too funny. Good night, Dwayne. Good night, Jeff. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Miss Barbara Stankowski, Corliss Udoima. I'm just looking at the peak. Jonathan Davis, thank you for joining. All of you. We talked Tanisha, thank you. Langley, thank you. Roberta Moore, E.G. Primus. Pastor Jeff, thank you. Blessings. Appreciate your support. And any questions? Hey, Pastor Jeff, I'm gonna get my act together so you can do a great intro for me. Give me till next week, will ya? Thank you, Chelsea. Really appreciate you. Enjoyed you too. Hope you'll be back next week. So if you got topics you want to talk about, please put them in the chat. Or if you got any ideas, any speakers you'd like for us to have, please let us know. I want to tell you this. I said I'd be happy when July was over. It was crazy busy, and then August came. It's crazy busy. September's crazy busy, and women business week is happening in October. So we're going to be doing some things focused on that. And then, man, we're going to be into November. Um, November, of course, is Veterans Day, and we'll try to do some stuff around that. But really, I'm excited about doing something. Thank you, Dwayne. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. That was so kind of you. Um, uh, I'm really excited about November because one of our vet biz ladies that was in the first cohort passed November 5th of last year, and she was part of Kingdom Wear. She led the fight for small businesses within the VA to get the first opportunity for contracts. Um, uh, right now, that law passed. Well, went all the way to the Supreme Court. The lawyer that started out with that fight died, and she found another lawyer and kept the fight going, and it passed. And as a result of the Kingdom Wear, which says two or more veterans can do the work, VA must set it aside for a service disabled veteran-owned company. It is law, but guess what? Thousands of companies have gotten millions and millions of dollars because of her fight. She passed, and we want to recognize and remember her. Kingdomware is a great company. I know they do IT and information systems, but if you are able to check them out, we plan to celebrate her um, during November. Wear. You gotta love, you know, you gotta love spell check or autocorrect because it's going Kingdom Wear. But I'm just putting that in the chat here, uh, just so that you all can check them out. But we'll be recognizing Latanya Barton. Any questions? We got a couple more minutes, 5 minutes. I put you up on the chart. Good night, Pastor Jeff. Thank you. Enrica, thank you. All right. If there are new comments. Who we got? Okay, so Chelsea says she's going to check out Kingdom Wear. If you just put Kingdom Wear in Google, you'll see it. It's all there. It's amazing. But we owe a lot to her as women, not only as women veteran-owned businesses, because she was a military spouse, and her husband is the military member, but she fought for all of us, and she deserves to be recognized and celebrated. So Taisha says, I heard a lot. Keep striving and do not let anyone steal your ideas. Ideas turn into action. Thanks, GI. I'll continue to keep striving. Thank you. Awesome. Chris. Hey, Chris, I saw you try to come up to the stage for a minute and then you left. Thank you for coming. Oh, congratulations, Dwayne. That's awesome. You got your service disabled veteran owned business certification. So guess what? Now comes the strategy. Who are we going after? Who are we going after? Remember, turn the funnel upside down. Be very narrow focused in who and what office specifically, not just an agency, what office, what kind of opportunities, buy what you're selling and then just go in and kill them. I know you're going to do extremely well, and let us know how we can help. Who else? Any other great news to share? I love that. Chris, you got some great news to share? Chris Moffitt? What about you, Chelsea? Some Taisha? If you got some great news, go ahead and put it in the chat. We want to share that. Or share your capability. There'll be some people who will go back and listen to the replay. Great. That's awesome. Thank you, William. I'm glad Keith Moore from the Minority Business Development Agency Federal Procurement Center is a great resource. All right, I'm going to stay here for probably 2 more minutes. We'll shut it down at 8:50. Okay, so Chris, let us know how we can help bring it on home, or if there's some doors or opportunity we need to open. Anything else? We got some great folks doing some amazing things. And that's, this community is just being in a place where people can feel supported, loved, and encouraged. And I think that's really what it's all about. That's really, really what it's all about. And as you can see, we've got a great number of folks who are very generous with their time and their knowledge. You said, I'm a veteran and I'm looking to getting into government contracting. Listening to the calls is very helpful. Excellent. It is. And what would you say is most helpful, Chelsea? Is it just tell me what is it about the sessions that you find helpful? You might be typing. It's okay. Hey, William, what kind of business are you in? So are you in the transportation business? Or no, you said you would not have known about MBDA if it weren't for your meeting. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love. All righty. Well, it is 8:50. I'm going to sign off. My name is Michelle Gardner-Ince. It's been such a delight to be with you. And oops, somebody's trying to call me. They're going to have to call me back later. Sorry about that. My name is Michelle Gardner-Ince. It is my mission and ministry to serve veterans, underserved communities, and women to help them increase their legacy of wealth, their system, and to figure out their system of wealth. Because when that happens, entire communities are changed. People say, I'm just going to talk for a few minutes. People say, oh, it shouldn't be all about the money. Well, it's about the Benjamins, baby. If you're in business and you're not making any money, you're not in business. Because business is about exchanging a product or service and receiving a reward. And so I hear a lot of folks in our community who want to help, who want to serve, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it should not be at the expense of your great-great-grandchildren's wealth. Period. So when we start a business and we build wealth, it allows us access. It allows us to reduce time. We can get from here to there faster. I always tell people, look at Kim Kardashian. She had a personal teacher help her through law school. She could not have done that without money. So she can now be a lawyer because she minimized the time and was able to learn what she needs to learn in a very short amount of time because of money. And money allowed her the access to be able to do that. And it allows us to do more for our communities and our families and future generations. So if we're in business, we need to be about making money, and it's just about finding the right revenue model for us. So, you know, when especially for veterans, when we come into business as a new mission, it improves our mental health. Homelessness goes down, and you know, wealth increases. And so I wish you all the very best. Let's get after this. Let's get the Benjamins. Let's make an impact in our community. Let's just not help, but let us enable future generations based on what we do today, tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year. My name is G.I. Always a pleasure. And from now on, I'm going to do a pre-show and a post-show about 15 minutes before the equity and government contracting sessions. Thanks so much for joining in. God bless you. May he bless you indeed. It's been my honor. We'll talk to you later. G.I. signing out.